Michael Delaware, and I'm the current president of the Battle Creek Area Association of Realtors for 2011. And I'm sitting here today with Kathy Parrott, the CEO of the Battle Creek Area Association of Realtors. And we're going to talk to you today a little bit about the changes of the Supra contract that we had for this year. And you probably recently saw some changes in your billing and that you got in the mailbox. So we wanted to put this video together to help you out with that. Kathy?
Our Supra contract is based upon the number of members, and it's determined the cost of the key based upon that membership in the calculation chart in the Supra contract that we currently have, which started in 2008 for the active key and ends in 2015.
And Supra brought to our attention through a letter and also contacted us by phone that we had another decrease in membership count of active key users and from 2010 to 2011, and it was going to significantly increase our annual billing per member. So with that in mind, we spoke with them, and I'll let Kathy explain a little bit about what our 2010 billing was first and then what their new proposal was going to be.
Thanks. In previous billings, the cost had been lower. 2010, we had an increase to $182.68.
And so in 2011, the fee was going to increase to $211.08 per member. So that was a fairly significant amount of increase. So we went back to Supra and said what can be done about it, and they came up with a proposal.
Supra offered a 3-year extension to the existing contract and also offered to reduce the cost of the key.
Yeah, and with that 3-year extension, it was obviously going to reduce the amount of membership, but it did require an extension till 2018. So we brought the information to the board, and I asked them to go survey their respective offices to find out what the general feedback would be. Did they want to extend the Supra contract in exchange for lowering the fee and have a longer term commitment, or what the general feeling was. So the survey that came back from the offices, and granted we had a short amount of time to make this survey, so we didn't have more than 48 hours to really do a lot of active survey. The members of the board did a great job of trying to get as much information and feedback as they could, but a majority of the feeling was that we did not want to extend the existing contract. We didn't want to have that extended and longer commitment. So we went back to Supra with this data in mind.
So we went back to Supra and explained our reasons of why they should reduce the cost of the key in our existing contract. We presented to them some of the board's comments and concerns of our members, that they would make more money if they reduced the cost of the key because more members would renew the key, and it would also allow new members to participate in the key as well rather than opt out.
So we made several calls. We had actually, I would say we had about 3 or 4 conference calls going up the corporate ladder of Supra. We even spoke to the president of Supra out of St. Louis, and their general response after several days of deliberating over our new proposal was that they denied our request to lower the billing and keep the same terms on the contract. They didn't want to set a precedent for other associations receiving that benefit and thus cost them money, so that was a bit of their decision on that. That was their card to play. So we went, we continued to press the issue with them, and they came forward with the offer of a semi-annual billing, which was something they hadn't put on the table before. And in the semi-annual billing, I'll let Kathy explain to you what that's all about.
So if you have an active key, the semi-annual billing would be $105.54. You would be billed in February and then in August for that amount for the active key for 2011. We did email to all the members the billboard of February 5th, and on page 3 of that billboard you will find at the bottom left-hand corner the cost of all the keys.
So we went to the board with the data before the decision was made to accept it, and reviewed the cost of extension, or the proposal for extension, or the proposal for keeping the existing contract and maybe take the biannual billing approach. and it was agreed to by the board to deny the extension and take the biannual billing. So that's what we did. I also wanted to point out that the general feeling of the feedback from members was that the Supra key is valuable, even though we've seen quite a climate change in the real estate market with a lot more foreclosures. It was numbers that were brought up around 40% of the marketplace now, which are not using the Supra key because they're requiring the combo boxes. But the feeling was that the Supra key does offer a measure of security, and in comparison to other products on the market, it was superior. When testing was done 5 years ago, for one reason, it operates successfully in sub-freezing temperatures. It was one of the tests that they did, where some of the other products failed. So we continued. The feeling is that we wanted to continue our relationship with Supra, which goes back even further than the existing 5-year contract, but we didn't want to sign a long-term commitment at this time to see which way the market would go in a year. So this approach, we took and approved the semi-annual billing, and that billing, of course, has now arrived in your mailbox.
If you have an outstanding balance with Supra, that outstanding balance may be included in your invoice. Also, if you decide not to renew your Supra key, to please bring it into the office and we will deactivate it, and it needs to be brought in before the February deadline of the invoice with Supra. If you decide later on you'd like to get a key, there will be a $80 reactivation fee for getting a new key in 2011. If you have replacement insurance for a key that you have right now, and let's say in 2011 it gets damaged, lost, or stolen, you would need to either report the lost or stolen key to the association or come into the association with the defective key, and it would be replaced by us. And that insurance replacement fee is $25 a year. If you do not have the replacement insurance, then you need to contact Supra directly about the problems you're having with your key.
Well, thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions about Supra or your personal key, you can call the number that's right here on your screen and talk to Brenda at the board office here. Thanks for joining us today.